Greetings to internet citizens, and let's get started with setting up our own localhost environment so that you do not need the cPanel or to take the domain or hosting or something like that. So let's get started, and it's totally free to download the MAM, Xampp or WAMP. So first let's understand the difference between MAM, Xampp, WAMP, and which are we going to use and why we are using that, right? So let's get started with that. So first of all, let me just show you the difference between MAM, WAMP and Xampp. Well, I'll be using Xampp. The reason I'll tell you within few seconds. Well, M into the MAM stands for Macintosh. So it is more friendly and compatible with Macintosh operating system. So some people might be having Windows, right? So we'll not be using MAMP. And now W stands for Windows in WAMP. And some might be using Mac, right? So we'll not be using WAMP as well. But Xampp, here X stands for cross-platform approach. So we'll be using Xampp, and I have inserted a query on Google which says Xampp download, right? So I've simply downloaded Xampp for Macintosh because I'm using OS X. Now the difference between here, have a look at this. Now, difference between download 64 with this one or this one. Well, I would like to suggest you to go for the latest version, and you will identify that by these numbers that it has 7.0.13 and the PHP version is 7.0 and something. It was 5 point something of PHP, so we are going to get our hands on the latest one. So I'm going to use 7.0.13. So I'm just going to click on download, and the Xampp files will start downloading on my desktop or somewhere, right? So you can go for Xampp for Linux as well and Xampp for Windows as well. So I've already downloaded this file and it's here onto my desktop, right? And next up required is you need to visit on wordpress.org, and you need to get the latest version of WordPress so that you cannot be a victim of security issues, right? So now you need to hit on download WordPress. Well, there are two types of WordPress. That is one for blogging, where you can set up your blog on www.wordpress.com, and there you can start blogging for free. But to set up your own custom WordPress site, you need to go for wordpress.org. So you just simply need to download these files by clicking on download WordPress, and it will start downloading within few seconds if you will hit over download WordPress and some version of it, right? So let's hit cancel on it at this moment of time because I've downloaded WordPress as well to save over time. So let's get started with the installation of Xampp. And after double clicking over here, let's see. The setup is about to here. It's opening our Xampp files. So let's get started with the setup of, let's open its image. Let me just hit on to my password. Okay, it's done. Now, be patient while downloading something, right? Okay, now Xampp is developed by Bitnami, as you can see. Let's hit on next. Make sure you check the Xampp core files and Xampp developer files. Hit on next once again. Now, this is a very important part right here. You need to remember the directories in which the Xampp is downloading, right? So it is downloading under my application folder and Xampp folder, right? So let's hit on next. The process is going to be same for Windows as well. Well, thank you for your publicity, Xampp. All right, let me just close this. Next, and it will start unpacking its file, and it will be completed within few seconds of time. So I'm just fast forwarding the movie from here. So as you can see that my setup is now successfully installed. Let's just launch our Xampp from here. So as you can see that directory here says Saksham Mac Mini, which is the name of my system, local.dashboard. Well, I'll make it easier for you. Let's say localhost, and you can see the same thing, right? So we'll be using localhost instead of that much big directory, right? So let me just minimize my browser. Well, make sure it is running into your browser, right? So let me just close all of these tabs, and I hope you must have downloaded all of them, right? So, okay, well, I'll go for Firefox as my primary localhost dashboard. Okay, it's working now. So what you next need to do is that you need to extract your WordPress files, right? So into the WordPress files, you need to copy all the files. And now be careful about directory, right? You need to go into the applications, as I've told you to remember about the directory of your Xampp, right? So here's my Xampp. I'll go to htdocs, and here I'll create a new folder. Let's say WordPress. And here I will paste all of these files. And now we will figure out that how you can reach to these directories, right? So that's quite easy. But before that, here is my Xampp, and I would recommend you to go on manage servers and turn on your MySQL database and ProFTBT as well. Well, they will be on in several seconds. Until the status is green, it's just starting, right? So you can see the application logs. It is starting right here and it will be turned on within few seconds. Let's still then figure out that how you can go to the directory of WordPress, right? Well, good news. It's now started. It's online. As you can see, the button is now turned to green. So let's go to localhost, and our folder's name was WordPress, right? So I'll write here as WordPress. So now you can see that my setup of WordPress is right here, but not yet. We are forgetting something, right? On to the localhost directory. So after this, you're going to write here as php myadmin, right? So here what you're going to do is that you're going to create a database and a username, right? So onto the database section, you're going to create a database. Let's name it as WordPress. Make sure you're selected into the collection. Let's create. And now our database is being successfully created, right? So let's head on php myadmin, and now we are going to add a user account. So let's click on user account, and then let's get a add user account to create a new user. Let's say user as testing. Okay. Make sure you select the localhost. So localhost is going to be here on to the host name. And let's say password to 123 Quite a easy one, right? So you can get your own. Well, onto here, below here, you need to grant all the privileges. So let's just check it all and let's hit on go, right? So now you can see that you have added a new user, right? So let's get started. Let's go. Now database name was WordPress and the username was testing. Password was 123123. Well, here it is going to show something weird, right? And we will solve that problem. So let's hit on submit, and as you can see that, sorry, but I can't write the wp-config.php file. You can create the wp-config PHP manually, right? What you need to do is that you need to select all of these text, copy it, and then you need to go on to this file of WordPress that we have copied into the htdocs, right? So here you need to find out something which says wp-config sample.php. So let's just open it into our editor, and what you need to do that is that you need to replace it all with the text that was suggested by this WordPress, right? So I'm just selecting all of this, copy, and let me just remove the text over here. And now I've pasted over here. Let me just save it. Let me close it, and let me change its name to sample. Let me just remove the sample so it could get, auto update. So let me just hit on run the install now. So now after running the installation, here is the good news that you can now install your WordPress file with a site title and username. So let's give it a site title, and let's say username to admin. Let's give it a password to admin as well, just for this moment of time, which is really a weak password, right? So let's get our username. Let's say Saksham Choudhary @gmail.com. Never tick on this one, right? So let's install the WordPress and let's see if it's here. Okay, our username was admin and the password was admin as well. And you can see that we have now successfully installed the WordPress onto the localhost. Now all the settings will follow the same if you are working on localhost or into the cPanel of your hosting. It is going to follow the same things, right? So don't be scared, don't be worried, and I'll be with you along this journey of great course on to developing the custom WordPress websites, right? So that's it for this movie, and thank you so much for watching.